Hi, first graders. I hope you had so much fun yesterday on your virtual field trip to the San Diego Zoo. Today, we are going to take another virtual field trip, and this time we are heading to the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And we're going to practice the same skills that we practiced yesterday. So we're going to be using everything we've learned and studied about animals and plants and living things to describe what we are observing at the aquarium and asking ourselves questions about what we notice at the aquarium. So we're going to use the same strategy that we used yesterday, our see, think, wonder strategy. So use your observations, your eyes, what do you see? And based on what you see, start to think. Ask yourself, what's going on here? And does all of that thinking and observing make you wonder anything about the animals that you see? So very quickly, I'm going to do one with you, just like we did yesterday. I'm going to show you how to get to the aquarium. Buckle up those seatbelts again, first graders, because we are going on a trip today to the aquarium. So again, you click on the menu there, and it pops up, grade 1 field trip. And your menu here will list a ton of the aquarium animals that you can explore today. And just like you did yesterday, you're going to follow the same exact steps. So you're going to click whichever animal you want to observe. That's step 1, and it'll bring you to that live footage of those creatures and those animals. Your step 2 is to get a notebook or a piece of paper. You're going to sketch and label that animal so that it becomes a diagram. And make sure you're labeling all of its important structures that we've learned about. And step 3 is to write down your noticings and your wonderings. So again, you're going to make that T chart like we did yesterday. So draw sort of a lowercase t. On one side, you're going to write what you notice, what you see. And on the other side, you're going to write what you wonder. What does it make you think? Okay, so very quickly, I made that T chart here, right? What do I see? I drew a little picture of an eye. What do I notice? My noticings are going to go here. And my wonderings, what questions is that causing for me based on what I'm seeing is going to go on the other side. So make sure you have a T chart ready and another piece of paper ready too for your sketch of the animal you find and your diagram. So I kind of already took a peek at this menu and I want to explore the sea otters today. So I'm going to click here to watch the camera. And again, it pops right up, the little sea otter live camera. So this might be where you pause your video if you were going to do the sea otters too and quickly draw your diagram and your sketch. I've already done that here. So I'll show you what I've already drawn, and my T chart is sort of made already at the bottom too with my noticings and my wonderings. So while it loads, I'll show you my little sea otter. And Miss McMenamin's not the best artist in the world, but I do my best. I tried my best. I kind of listed his tail, his whiskers I drew, because I noticed some of those things right away. Look at those long whiskers on these otters. And they have a kind of fluffy tail there at the end. And I also drew and labeled the claws on his hands. And then at the bottom, I have my T chart. In the middle, I kind of made myself stop and think. So I have my seeing, my noticings, my over here, my observations, and I have my wonderings on this side. I'm going to walk you through them now. So make sure you hit play so you get to the live camera there. And let's see what we see. I don't see any otters right now, so perhaps they're kind of swimming in the water. And so maybe that would be the first thing that I'm seeing and noticing. Maybe I'm seeing and noticing that there's no otters on the land here. Oh, there's one. So I see the otters in the water. So I've listed that at the bottom of the things that I am observing, what I'm using my eyes to see. And when I'm seeing those otters kind of swimming around in the water there, I'm starting to think and I'm starting to wonder, how much time does a sea otter spend in water versus on land? Do they even spend an hour of their day on land up here, or is most of their day spent swimming around in the water? So that was the wondering that I filled out based on my noticing. I noticed otters in the water. I thought for a moment, what does that make me wonder? And I wondered, how much time does an otter spend on water versus land? Okay, so I started to notice very quickly, right away, the otter's environment, its surroundings. I also was noticing some of the structures, not as much here right now because the otters are in the water, but when we were on the screen that first popped up that kind of showed us the picture of the otter, I really noticed their whiskers. I had never noticed that the otter's whiskers are so long. And it started to make me wonder and think, based on what we've been learning about different structures for survival, I was wondering to myself, what do those whiskers do for an otter? Why does it have those really long whiskers? Is it a structure that helps it in any way? So I started to wonder, after I noticed whiskers, how do the whiskers help the otter? And because Miss McMenamin was acting like a scientist, I looked it up because I really wanted to know. And I learned that the otter's whiskers kind of help them when they're swimming through the water to feel around for other sea creatures, like little tiny sea creatures, like little crabs and things, and plants that they can eat underwater. So the whiskers actually do serve a purpose for them. They're a structure that helps them survive by helping them to get food. And we all know that living things need food to survive. So that was something really interesting. So you're going to do this very same thing today, first graders. Pick an animal in the aquarium, sketch it, do your best to label it so that it becomes a diagram of all its important structures. And then on the bottom, create your notice and wonder T-chart so that you can really list the things that you are observing and any wonderings that those observations make you have, just like I showed you how to do. Okay, so we hope you enjoy this field trip today, and I bet you will discover some really interesting things and notice and observe some really awesome creatures here in the aquarium today. Have a great trip.